Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Girls Frontline 2, we're going to be talking about the other unit that came out on the CN version, and this is one that was able to be gotten completely for free, and that is a Belleside. And so, she is a physical unit, and she uses a machine gun, and she has some kind of like summon mechanics within her, and so let's just go ahead and take a look at her. I've only kind of taken a little bit of a glance over it, so let's see what she is capable of. Now, from what I can tell, she is a very defensive unit and potentially a possible sustain option for the physical team. Now, the first thing we'll take a look at is going to be her passive here. And she has a lot going on with her kit because she has two different summons within it. But with her passive here, Wrench Calibration, it is after performing a basic attack, increases Confectance Index by 1 point. So she uses her basic attack, her Confectance Index will go up. When allies, excluding self, deal physical damage using an active attack, increases Confectance Index by 1 point as well. That can be triggered up to 2 times per turn. And so with this, that means she can get up to 3 per turn, which will be quite important because her ultimate has a Confectance cost of 6 here. And then on the second part, for each point of Confectance Index gains, applies 1 stack of performance boost to all constructs. And she has 2 constructs that she can summon. When a construct within 10 gets 10 stacks of performance boost, it is destroyed, deals physical damage equivalent to 100% of the construct's defense to all enemies within a 3-tile radius. This will not trigger interceptions, counterattacks, or action supports. And when we take a look at what those stacks do, they are increasing attack and defense by 3%. You can get up to 10 stacks before it explodes, so that goes all up to 30% when it does its final attack when it blows up. And this, it says this can be stacked up to 10 times. So that is her passive. So her entire kit is going to revolve around these constructs, as they call them. And so let's just now go up to her skills here with her basic attack as your typical basic attack here. Nothing too crazy with it other than, as we saw with the passive, it will give her 1 stack of Confectance Index if she uses her basic attack. But then we have her 2 other skills that work very similar. And this is Fortification Protocol and Demolition Protocol. I almost feel like it's like an offensive construct and defensive one. And so this first one here selects an empty tile with an 8-tile radius and summons the defense construct on the selected tile. If the defense construct is already summoned, it gets moved to the selected tile. If the Demolition Protocol has not been used on this turn, Balthilde can use Demolition Protocol once. So basically what you can do is you can actually summon both of them at the same time, because both of them have this condition. If the other one hasn't been used, you can use it, meaning you can put both of them out on the same turn because there's no Confectance cost and there's no current cooldown. I say current because the second part here is when it is destroyed, it gets a cooldown of 3 turns. So as soon as you use the skill, you have no cooldown to use it again. But as soon as it gets destroyed, you now inherit a cooldown. So just know that you're going to want to be able to reduce this, which you'll see later on in the kit here. And so the Demolition Protocol, it's basically exactly the same thing on its conditions, except it's the offense construct, while this one's the defense construct. And we'll look at the details on them here in just a second. And so then we get to the ultimate, Chain Burst Barrage. This has that Confectance cost of 6. Selects a direction and deals AoE physical damage equivalent to 100% attack to all enemies within a 6-tile fan-shaped area towards the selected direction. And you can see this is a very massive area that it covers. And then it decreases the cooldown of the 2 skills up above by 1. So this is going to kind of have like a normal cycle where you're going to have these get summoned. You're going to stack up those stacks of performance boost. They're going to blow up. It's going to get the cooldown. And then you're going to basically have the ultimate as your way to kind of reduce the cooldown. And then you're going to have your physical teammates building up her Confectance Index to then be able to reduce it again. But with that, we also now have the constructs themselves down here because there's 2 of them. And so let's go ahead and look at what they actually have within their kit. So Defense Construct. Defense Construct inherits 100% of Balthide's HP, attack, and defense. And that's going to be key because you're going to notice they do damage based on defense. So scaling on defense. First time I think we've had something that scaled on defense. So you're going to want to put as much defense into her as you can. And then it has the ability to protect allies and cover within a 3-tile radius. And then defense up 1. Defense increased by 20%, and this is considered a buff. And so and we'll look at that here in a second because it goes down into the skills for the construct. Upon being summoned, it applies defense 1 for 2 turns and restores HP equivalent to 100% defense for all allies in 3 turns. This is where you're kind of seeing that she can be kind of a sustain with this. She summons this, and then it's going to heal, and it inherits her defense. So if you stack a bunch of defense on her, she can be your pseudo healer alongside, say, Yuhi, who has a little bit of a heal on her side, and you don't need like a full-on sustain at this point with her. And then it also provides cover, as in what you'll see in the second part here, the maintenance focus. Cover within a 3-tile radius will not lose durability, so if they're taking cover, it's not going to lose durability. It's going to stay nice and solid. Decreases damage received by 30% for all allies within range that are not benefiting from cover. So if they're not under cover, they're also getting basically the benefits of being under cover from having this protecting them. That's the defense one. The offense one, similar, but it's on the offensive side. Inherits all the same stats from Belleside. Has the ability to do damage to the nearest enemy within a 3-tile radius. And then when you look at the skills, selects the nearest enemy within 3-tile radius, deals physical damage equivalent to 100% defense to it. Can use be twice per turn. So you can do that twice per turn with it. And that is pretty much most of the basic kit here. Now, one big thing is the dupes on her are actually quite important because you can acquire them. So this isn't something where you're having to worry about summoning for maybe something else on the standard banner or not. This is one where you're going to be able to get them to kind of the equivalent of Papasha in that sense. You will inevitably get all these dupes. So they are quite important to determining how good she is because you are going to actually be able to get them very easily. So let's go ahead and look at all the dupes here. We have the first one. This one impacts Demolition Protocol. And so that one is the first skill at the top here. Or the second one, I guess, for the offense one. And increases the range of disassembly technique to 5 tiles and applies stress factor on the target for 2 turns. So this is one of the attacks here from the offense construct. Its attack is called disassembly technique. So now it applies a debuff called stress fracture, increases stability damage received by 2 points, and decreases stability damage dealt by 2 points. So nice little bit of a stability reduction, and that can actually, because this has got a different name. You have, like, for example, the shotgun, I forget the name of it, like Expeditionary Pigeon or something. That one adds stability loss 2 if you have enough dupes on it. So to me, this might be very good in the fact that you can now stack stability debuffs on the boss to really rack up the amount of stability damage you can do. So that could be really nice right there. And so you have that one on V1. V2, this one's affecting the defense one's Fortification Protocol. Increases the range of safety awareness and maintenance focus. Those are the 2 skills of the defense construct, so now it's got a higher range. New effect is added for safety awareness. Upon being summoned, restores the durability of all cover within a 5-tile radius. I don't know how important this is going to be. Maybe this is more important to EX mode than anything else. But now your cover not only doesn't take damage, but if it has taken damage, it can restore HP to it or durability. And then a new effect is added to maintenance focus, restores HP equivalent to 100% defense and 2 stability, and applies defense up for all allies within a 5-tile radius at the end of turn. So just more healing, defense, and all that. Very good option there. V3, Chain Burst Barrage resets the cooldown of Fortification Protocol and Demolition Protocol. Restores HP, and this is the ultimate, isn't it? Yeah. So now it's a just complete reset of them. So that is nice there. So now you have a really good cycle of being able to go ultimate, use the 2 skills, they blow up, use the ultimate, carry back into them, and you're pretty much going to always have them available once you have V3. And then it also restores HP to 100% attack to all allies and applies load-bearing component for 2 turns. Load-bearing component being increases defense by 30% and decreases stability damage taken. So just a nice, and if they have, if they have below 40% HP, it'll restore HP. So a nice little healing buff right there. It almost kind of feels like she is being targeted as like a semi-defensive healing type unit for your team. With that now coming in there. That's really nice. So we have V4 now. Decreases the cooldown of the skill by 1 turn. Increases the attack and defense inherited by offense construct by 100%. And then you have increases the number of times disassembly construct can be used per turn by 1. And so now it can do more attacks on the offense one. Really nice right there. So a little bit more damage. Fortification Protocol one now on V5. Decreases the cooldown of the skill by 1 turn. Increases attack. So it's basically like this other one, but now for the offense one. Effects enhanced. Restores HP equivalent to 200% defense versus 100 for stability. And the maintenance focus damage reduction is applied to all allies instead. So now damage reduction, a lot more defensive options there. The last one goes to the passive. For each point of confectance index held, increases the damage multiplier of cold-tempered shot by 5%, so just more damage from it. And then enhances the effects of performance boost. Now it's 5% instead of 3%. So nothing too crazy on the V6 there, but this is basically a completely free unit, so I don't expect anything game-breaking in this. And this is pretty much kind of be the full kit overall once you eventually get all of the dupes for her. So you will have that, and then when you look at the fixed keys here, before using an active attack, applies stretch factor on the enemy for 2 turns. I think that's going to be an important one. The big thing I'd be using her for is kind of like your pseudo sustain, and then with this paired with somebody else that has stability loss, a way to really wreck a boss's stability. Because if you're doing this, you're stacking those 2, you're doing 4 per hit, and then you have someone that's like constantly hitting. That can do a lot of stability damage really quickly. Then you have fixed key 2 at the start of battle, increases confectance index by 3 points. That's nice there. I mean, you typically see it on like pretty much every doll. Fixed key 3 at the end of action applies damage reduction 2 for all allies not near cover for 1 turn. So she's pretty much making it where you don't need cover to a certain extent with some of her stuff here. Fixed key 4 at the end of action restores 3 stability for the ally with the lowest stability. Fixed key 5 before allies are attacked, defense construct restores 1 stability for them. Okay, more stability healing. And then fixed key 6, when a construct is on the field, increases stability damage dealt by self. So now you're making her shred stability even more by increasing it by 3 points with fixed key 6. And then we have this last one here, affinity key, attack plus 3%, defense plus 3%, HP plus 3%. Nothing too crazy. That's like really tied to her since she wants all the stats. Since you do care about attack to a certain extent for her damage, but defense is kind of the more key one when it comes to the constructs. And then HP just to keep them alive a little bit longer. So not the best key, but at least it's good for her. Common key HP plus 5% increases defense for the holder's entity summons by 7%. This one is 100% tied to her. So you use this one on her, no one else is going to really want it. And then the last part here going to be her weapon here. And so, yeah, I mean, so I'm guessing this is just another Viking term because you have Mjolnir here. So I'm guessing this one is what, Nilnir? Nilnir? I don't know how to actually say. I know this one's Mjolnir, so I'm guessing this one's like Nilnir. I don't know. But another light machine gun. And so this one I actually really like. And this could have some potential even on like Peridia. Depending. I'll have to see what the numbers actually are. But after attacking enemies whose defense is lower or equal to 0, deals 1 fixed stability damage. So just more stability damage that can come out of Belleside right there. But here's the part that I really like about it. Increases the damage dealt towards enemies with defense type debuffs for all allies by 10%. So this is why I'm saying this could be a good weapon for, say, Peridia. Versus Mjolnir, which is really good as well. This one increases Peridia's damage if she's sitting still, which she generally is. But you have this one now where you're going to increase it by 10% for all allies, just in general, if they do defense buffs. So you have Peridia with Klukai, with Springfield, and Tololo. You're increasing Tololo's damage by 10%, Springfield's by 10%, Klukai's by 10%. To me, I think that's more damage coming from them that you're benefiting from this versus Peridia doing more damage herself down here. I haven't run the numbers, but to me, that makes me think this potentially could be the new best in slot for Peridia. So a really good weapon there. Second part here, increases the damage dealt and healing by the holder's entity summoned by 15% on one, all the way up to 30% on 5 dupes. And so that wouldn't help Peridia at all. But I think even with not taking advantage of that second part, I think that first part could make it overall her new best in slot. We'll just have to see. Absolutely 100% the best in slot for Belleside, though. No questions on that. And then I don't know how much movement she's going to have to be doing within her kit. She's very defensive. It sounds like she can stay put, which would make Mjolnir her second best there. And then that is pretty much it. And as it like says here, as Belleside's Vertebrae can be acquired for free, you do not have a such justice path. There's no like stopping point. You just get them as you can get them in the game, and then eventually you'll have all of them, and she will be V6. And that is pretty much it. That's Belleside. My kind of thoughts on her. I haven't actually seen her in practice yet. I need to kind of look at videos and stuff on it. Overall, kit's all right. The only problem I really see with her being that, do you really need all this defense? I don't really see too much in it. It's kind of, it almost feels like she's like another Papa Shaw in that there's 2 summons. So it makes me wonder if they're going to have requirements that are not 6 entities, but instead 7. And if they require 7, guess what can get 2 entities on the field? Belleside can do that now. But then again, you could also pair something like a Nikita with like a Laney or something. I'd rather have those as my 2 entities on there that hit that mark versus having Belleside. But I'd have to see. I haven't really seen how well she works on the damage that she can put out. The defense, to me, isn't really necessary at all, but I haven't really needed sustain much at all with any of my combat right now. But we'll have to see on that. But then I do really like the stability. It looks like she can be a stability shredder, which may warrant her to be a part of the team. Maybe that's good enough to bring her out. If you can get that boss's stability shredded, like from just her by herself, so everybody else has the boss as just stability, maybe that's worth it. I don't know. I haven't really seen her actually in combat yet to really kind of have my opinion on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now on her. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.